I want to thank, from the bottom of my heart, Sharon and Michael Lecter, because how many times in business do we get to meet absolute, authentic, high integrity people that care more about your business than their business? You know, they don't have to put on these events. They don't. They do it because they know that this is what they're supposed to do in life. This is their legacy. This is who they are. So everybody, I want to thank Michael and Sharon Lecter for putting this event on and just being authentic, high integrity, no hype. I'm the car salesman, so I'll have lots of hype. And just being who you guys are, and thank you. And I'm so grateful. And not only, so I started out with Sharon as a fan. I went to this event because I wanted to hear Sharon speak. And then I asked her, I decided I was going to write a book. And so I asked her to write the foreword to my book. So I went from fan to a little bit of a stalker, to friend, and now to business partner. Because you see, anything can happen. So I'm going to tell you a little thing about me. My name is Lisa Copeland, and I'm still on a PC, okay? And if you Google me right now, I love to say this, I am not the over 50 dating coach. So those are the two things I like to tell an audience. And I actually was hired by Google a couple weeks ago to go to Detroit because I'm working with their automotive sales team to help them be able to speak better to automotive dealers. And so I got to actually say at Google to an audience, if you're Googling me, I am not the over 50 dating coach. Anyways, so my name is Lisa Copeland, and I'm a former automotive dealer. And the thing I'm going to talk about today, we heard all kinds of stuff about technology and Google, and I think it's all great. I think digital marketing it's very, very important in business to be relevant, to scale, and all of that. But I'm going to go a little off track because I think that we've got to be in the people business. So I'm the sales arm of this digital conference, and I'm going to talk about being in the people business. Because without people, none of your other stuff's going to work. Because who is our end consumer? People. It's not Google. Google's my end consumer, though, because I have sold them some stuff. And the fun thing was, so when I was speaking at Google a couple weeks ago in Detroit, we were talking about artificial intelligence in the automotive industry. And I kept saying, Alexa, Alexa, Alexa. And these guys are like, in the front row at Google. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What's up? So about a week ago, Andrew Diff, I know you're probably watching this from Google, I had a package show up on my front door. It was Google Home. They were so nice to me. They didn't give me a bad time, and I ended up with a free Google Home out of it. So anyways, but the power of association. Who would have ever thought in January, when I met Sharon, it was at an event, and Sharon was speaking, and I was just so, I was at a point in my life where I had to make a really big decision. I had to decide if I was going to walk away from a very, very high-profile career, being the #1 dealer in the country, all of the success I'd had in the automotive business. But you know how it is sometimes in life? There was kind of maybe an important birthday around that time, 30, 35, I don't know. Anyways, and I knew that the things I wanted to do, I couldn't do behind four walls in Austin, Texas. We'd already broken the world sales record. I had the #1 team in the country. The chairman of the board put me on the National Dealer Council. I had my own car built for me by the Fiat brand. What else was there to do in Austin, Texas? I wanted to take this message out. But see, fear was stopping me, which I think you guys are going to hear from me later on fear. Fear was stopping me. I knew what I needed to do. I knew what my heart's desire was. But what was holding me back? It's scary to walk away from that big job where you're the darling of the press in the automotive industry. You're selling a lot of cars. I knew I would get a paycheck all the time. I was an owner. So what stops us, with a show of hands, how many times has fear stopped you from what you believe was your destiny? And then someone like Sharon Lecter gets on the stage. And I'm sitting in, I don't know, I was probably 2 or 3 rows back. And I hear her tell a story about when she made a big transition. It was a 20-year anniversary here like a couple days ago. Anyways, best transition she ever made. And I'm listening to the story, and it was my story. Literally walked up to her at the end. Of course, I have to work through the crowd. This was a pretty big venue. Trying to get to the crowd, trying to get to the front. I'm like, you don't know who I am? And she's like, yeah, but you're kind of in my space. And I was like, well, first of all, you're wearing black leather pants. You're awesome. I mean, she had her black leather pants on and her red jacket. I'll never forget. And I just broke out crying. Now, car dealers from Texas don't cry. I don't cry. But it was all over me because, see, I really believe that there are times in life where you have a sign and it's confirmation from the universe. Today's Good Friday, so if today is your day, then you understand. But whatever you believe, there is always confirmation from the universe if you ask. I do believe that. And I said, your story gave me the guts that I'm going to go back and I'm going to initiate a buy-sell with my business partner. And she was like, whoa, like I don't even know you. I'm not quite sure what your name is. And you're going to do what? And I said, I'm going to sell the #1 store in the country. I'm done. Because you know what? If you can do it, I can do it. So power of association, power of hearing just one story. So if what I go through today helps one person in this room make whatever decision it is you need to make, then I've done my job. Because see, if it wasn't for that lady back there, I'd probably still be schlepping cars in Austin, Texas. Now, I don't really look like a car salesman, but I was a really good one for a really long time, but it's because I was never in the car business, ladies and gentlemen. I was in the people business, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So again, I'm not as fancy and not near as technologically advanced as my friends at Google, but at the end of the day, without people, we don't have a business, do we? That's right. So, sorry, Google guys, I love you, but I'm going to unearth everything you say. All right, so the company that Sharon and I have come up with. So again, the #1 thing that holds people back, and did I mention that reading Outwitting the Devil changed my life? Yeah. And that's how I got there to the event to go see Sharon speak. Because see, I knew, once I identified that what was holding me back wasn't desire, wasn't lack of talent, wasn't anything. What was holding me back from reaching what I knew I was supposed to do was fear. I read Outwitting the Devil, and guess what I learned how to do? Repurpose that fear. Fear's real. Let's call it. Fear's healthy. You have to have fear. If we don't have fear, then we're not driving cars 200 miles an hour down the street. So we have to have a healthy dose of fear. But to fear less is not to be fearless, but it is to take that one step that yesterday you might not have taken. Maybe you're laying in bed with the covers over your head because you're going through a divorce, or somebody you love's died, or something's happened. And to fear less is to maybe just take the covers down on day 2. And maybe day 3 is you're just, you finally got up and put on your robe. Okay, that is to fear less. And so power of association. So over the last year and a half that I've been speaking literally around the world, I've met an amazing group of people. And then you put that with Sharon's amazing group of people, and we have the Fear Less Success Network. Who in this room does not believe that you can't be a success? Right? Just the fact that you showed up on Good Friday. Most of the people are probably out in that golf course today. But you're here because why? You want to take your business to the next level? Your life to the next level? Everybody's here for a reason. And it's probably not that chicken I ate for lunch. I'm just giving Sharon a bad time. So, my presentation is the 8 traits of a rock star salesperson. Who in this room growing up wanted to be a rock star? Like at some level, right? And so again, this is more of a people business kind of presentation. So I like this one. I wish Chris Record was in the room, but I grew up in Northern California. That's before I couldn't get to Texas quick enough. But I grew up in Northern California, Silicon Valley, and we had a home in Santa Cruz. For a weekend home. And so I was probably in a little different neighborhood than where Chris was, but I knew Cabrillo College. I was visioning the bus that he took, because I knew, because the beach is over here and that college is up in the mountains of Santa Cruz. I mean, he had to take at least 2 to 3 buses. So the whole time he's telling his story, I'm like, yes, I know that story. But see, just the fact that somebody like him gets up here who's been so successful, it'd be super easy not to tell that whole story, but who in this room was inspired when you heard his story? When you said, if this guy can do it with a 9th grade education, I can do it too, right? It's so easy for people not to tell their story, or why don't we go ahead and have people that make up stories? Yeah, boo, which is a lot of the marketers out there, all right? Your story is your story because it's real and it's authentic, and how many people in this room are going to do something different because they heard what Chris Record went through? Right, absolutely. Okay, so this slide's for him. I don't even have to tell the story behind it. Number 1, and I didn't even know him before I put this presentation together, but number 1, you say yes first, and then you figure out how to get it done. Enough said, that's what he did. I do it all the time. I'm not even going to go into my story because I'm on a countdown clock. All right, number 2, a rock star, a fearless rock star is that you think differently than everybody else, right? We think differently. Who in this room has a business? How many entrepreneurs do we have in the room? We've got a whole room. Guess what? You think differently. You don't do it like corporate America does it. You're an entrepreneur because you want freedom, time, money, and you want to do it the way you want to do it. Do we all agree with that? Number 3, you speak up, and the quick story I'll tell you about that is after my young millennial sales team broke the world sales record, Mr. Sergio Marchione, who's the chairman of the board of the Chrysler Corporation, they put me on the National Dealer Council, which is a big honor. And it's 18 dealers that represent 3,500 dealers around the country. And these are the best of the best. And I will tell you this, I was probably the only one that flew in on Delta. They all flew in on their jets. So for the first 2 years, I was the dealer that had broke the world sales record. I'd brought Fiat brand back to America, all the above. And I thought I was pretty cool until I walked in that room. For 2 years, I never spoke. And did I mention there was 18 men and me? I never spoke because I was so intimidated by the room. I'm not an intimidated person, but that's what the room did to me. But I'll tell you this story. I got a text from one of the executives at Chrysler. Literally, we sit in a big room at a big round table, and he said, "You need to speak up." And I'll tell you what, the minute that I did, I never shut up for the next 2.5 years. Because you know why? I had a lot to offer, but fear held me back. Because for whatever reason, even going in with the credentials I had, I didn't think I was worthy to speak in that room. How many of you feel like that? I'm going to give you permission to speak up. Because the minute you find your voice, the minute you speak up in that meeting, the minute that you let you be heard, your business and your life will go to the next level. Number 4, you enthusiastically share your expertise. We're all experts in this room. That's why we're entrepreneurs. Most of us, I would say, took what we do and what we love, and we made a business out of it. How many did that? You monetized a passion, a love, or something that you know you're supposed to do, all right? And so you are an expert in that business, which Sharon talks about quite a bit, but you have to enthusiastically share it. You are the product of your product. See, a rock star salesperson never turns it off. We're always out selling. You guys should have known me 2 years ago. Everybody in Austin, Texas, and all around drove Fiats, and my friends were like, "I hate this stupid little car. I don't care. You're going to drive it," right? Now, I used to drive a Maserati for a demo because in my mind, I said to myself, well, Fiat owns Maserati, so it was either that or a Ferrari. I wasn't driving a Fiat. All right. And number 5, if you're an entrepreneur or you're a rock star salesperson, I love this. You do it your way. Who in this room does it your way? Isn't that the reason that we left corporate America, most of us? Right? Hands. How many people left corporate America because you wanted to do it your way? No one says it better than Frank Sinatra. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and I did it my way. Stand up in this room if you faced it all, you stood tall, and you did it your way. There you go. Congratulations. You are absolutely a rock star. So, the more success you have, and when you become that expertise, that expert in the field, in your field, and you go out and you become an entrepreneur, or you go out and you become a great success, here come the naysayers, right? Here they come. Oh, you can't do it. That person's crazy. Your business is never going to succeed. It happened to me when I put my life savings into bringing Fiat brand back to America. I had friends in the automotive industry going, "You're doing what? Did you not read Fix It Again, Tony, in 1980 something?" And I'm like, yeah, but you know what? I didn't get in the car business to be a car dealer. I got in the car business because I wanted to revolutionize an industry. I wanted to put a new face on automotive, and it was for women, minorities, and millennials. And my team showed an entire industry that we could do whatever we wanted to do if we put our mind to it, and we put people first. And then number 7, you do what only others wish they could do, okay? There's so many people sitting in cubicles, and if you're sitting in one now, I hope I encourage you. They want to get the hell out of that cubicle. So that was the pink car after we broke the world sales record that the chairman of the board built me, and that was after I made a big audacious bet in the press that we would break the world sales record. And then from there, I got named one of the top 100 women in automotive, and my sorority sister is now General Motors chairman of the board, Mary Barra, because she was also on the list. And they didn't rank us. She was number 1, I'm sure, and I'm sure I was probably number 100, but that's okay. Power of association. I know Mary, and Mary knows me. And there's my latest client with my book, who is the president of Subaru, who is my biggest competitor, and they hired me to come in and work with their teams also, their executive team. So from a girl in Austin, Texas, who just had a dream to revolutionize the auto industry, made a crazy audacious bet in the press because I knew it would grab everyone's attention, and number two, I knew it would make me either do or die, to my associations with the greatest people in the automotive industry. And then number 8, Churchill says it best, you never give up. We are going to get knocked down, rolled around as an entrepreneur. Failure is inevitable. It's how you recover is what will define you. And if you do fail, you don't want it to define you. Okay? So say it out loud because I'm on a countdown clock. Never, ever, ever give up. Stand up. Never, ever, ever give up. How about Chris Recker? Did he ever give up? Did Sharon Lecter give up? Who in this room has given up? I hope. Yeah, but you know what? You're here today. All right, so my gift to you is that if you, this is the most technical, this is like my big technology thing. If you pull out your phone and you text 444-999 and you type in crush it, you will get the online fear course on how to crush fear in your life and in your business. And Sharon and I have together, which I'm so excited and honored, we have written the Fearless Sales System that we will have available over here if you want to talk to us about it. And last but not least, I'm going to say, Sharon says all the time, well, Lisa, I brought you in because I'm not a salesperson. And I'm like, Sharon, you've sold 30 million books. You're a salesperson. Thank you.